Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're returning to our series of War in the Pacific Admirals Edition, our play-by-email series, which is moving, admittedly, at a snail's pace against XTRG. We're on pace to take like 30 years if we ever conclude this war, but it's a fun little YouTube series to be doing, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm enjoying sharing it with all of you. Today we're going to be live streaming the results of the most recent turn, as well as some of my turn that'll be going back to XTRG. I don't think I'm going to be able to stream the whole turn. I imagine I'll probably put finishing touches on it tomorrow or late tonight and send it his way. But we'll take a look at the turn, we'll take a look at what our units are, and we'll kind of consider some options and, probably stream for an hour to an hour and a half. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Now, we're going to be playing the 1-9 combat result first, and then we'll jump in to the actual turn. We know there was likely an engagement involving our 3 heavy cruiser task force that we were sending to Luganville, which is in the South Pacific that the Japanese have occupied. It seems to be their base of operations against Comac and the northern coast of New Caledonia. So our attempt was to move around the island of New Caledonia, flank the Japanese, avoid any heavy screening forces they might have had protecting Comac, and then drive on Luganville itself, and hopefully catch some tankers or some cargo ships or some troop ships unawares. That's the objective, and we'll see what happens here in this turn. Meanwhile, Charcoal, thank you very much for the gifted subscription there for Lightning Dragon. That was very, very kind of you. Apparently, it's not broken in the sense that you can gift subscriptions to folks, so I guess it did show up. All right, so away we go. And here we are. It is January 9th, 1942, and we're getting our replay underway here. You can see the... I don't know. It's just the night phase, right? They're thinking about what's going to happen. Let's see if we can speed through a little bit of this right now. And, okay, so we're into the night phase. Coast Watchers report fleet oilers near Shortlands. That'll be interesting to see how accurate that is. Meanwhile, our task force near Comac is reacting, or his task force is reacting to us, one or the other. I can't remember if I turned my react speed down. I hope I did. Looks like there's... Is this a battleship, or is that a heavy cruiser operating just north of Mindanao in the Philippines? It's a heavy cruiser, the Ishurga. So the patrol craft, the Zeeman, which is located at Kaigan, engaged or retreated very wisely from a much larger Japanese task force, a heavy surface task force that looks to be moving in that area. Meanwhile, there is a surface action here. Did we react into Comac itself? This is our cruiser task force, isn't it? Yeah, we've got the 3 destroyers, the 2 light cruisers, and the 3 heavy cruisers. So it looks like we've crossed the T. Richard Connolly has crossed the T of a Japanese AV, so a tender ship. Why is that tender ship? Well, I guess we're at Belep Island, which is just north of Comac. They just took Belep Island last turn, so... You know what? I'm happy if he wants to give us a tender ship to destroy. I'm pretty sure we destroyed a tender ship on our raid on Tarawa. So if we can get another AV, which I believe is a seaplane tender, which is useful for making sure your forward outposts have enough aviation value to support your recon missions, which are very important to see, you know, what enemy aircraft or what enemy ships are in the area. Again, and these things are pretty valuable. They're like a 20 victory point value ship, usually. So if we can destroy this guy, then I guess that's a good start to our raid toward Luganville, although we certainly got diverted away from where I had intended for us to go. Hey, Belugan, thank you very much for the subscription there. Definitely appreciate the support. Okay. And Commissar, thank you for the bits. All right. For the dead to come this turn. Well, I hope there's not too many dead on our side. I guess we'll see. Maybe this is what XTRG was shaking his fist over. As Belugan always used to call himself in my play-by email against him, he always called himself Sir Cruiser a lot. And I am trying to learn after his example because by April of 1942, I had lost 3 full invasion task forces, I think it was, and a whole slew of smaller ships because I wasn't adequately escorting them. Now, I haven't done anything like that to XTRG yet. We did sort of wipe out that Mersing force, which was a pretty big victory for us, but we haven't seen anything like that since. XTRG is nowhere near my situation where I was struggling to find. I had to convert a whole bunch of cargo ships to troop transports, which you can do as Japan. You can't really do that as the Allies. And then I also was just scrambling to figure out ways to keep transporting large bodies of troops. If that game had gone on longer, I would have been in a world of hurt because I simply didn't have enough sea lift capacity because Belugan had ravaged my forces so badly. No lightning, no task force named Blood Court, although that's a good idea. Let's see here. No hits on our ships, 15 hits on his tender. I'm going to assume that sinks, although I didn't get the little, oh, we're engaging it again. Let's fast forward through it this time. Okay. 7 more shell hits, and she goes down. So that's 1 ship sunk by our cruiser task force. That's a good start. And another task force engaged. This one looks also like probably a troop convoy of some kind. It looks like it has a couple of escorts. I'm thinking those are CMs based off their silhouettes, so probably some decent-sized guns, but certainly nothing to stand against a heavy cruiser task force. You can see Connolly is pursuing. The Japanese are trying... Oh, these are light cruisers. The Japanese are trying to flee, so they are trying to run from us, and our heavy cruisers are trying to chase them. Now, the one thing is this is a night action, and I believe our ships all have air search radar, but I don't think any of them have surface search radar. So that might make the Japanese more able to escape from us. But you can see here our heavy cruiser, the New Orleans, the Australia, the Canberra, is all chasing these Japanese ships. There's an AMC, a couple of light cruisers, a cargo ship here, the Tiramisu Maru. Is that really a Tirashima Maru? And then the Kashima and the Kartori light cruisers. I'm pretty sure he's already lost 2 light cruisers sunk to this point in the war, so if we can destroy another light cruiser, that would be great. They do have long lances. So far, it looks like the only torpedoes that destroyer fired missed. So our hope is... Ooh, a nice 8-inch shell hit there on the Kashima. Meanwhile, their gunnery doesn't seem to be super accurate. Ours is doing all right. I know the Australian ships are more experienced and they're better than the American ones at night combat, so it's good to see. But you can see the New Orleans is getting several 8-inch shell hits on the Kashima. She is getting pounded with heavy shells there. That's 3 hits with 8-inch shells, 4 hits with 8-inch shells. This one's, again, the superstructure. Another superstructure hit causing severe casualties of the damage control parties. So this fight is off to a good start. You can see Kashima is trailing heavy smoke. Now, the only thing is, we've already engaged 1 Japanese ship. I don't know how much... oh, shit. We just got belt armor hit there. I don't think it did any damage, but Canberra is smoking at least. Yeah. You pay good money just to watch me butcher pronunciations? I mean, that's kind of my shtick at this point, right? It's like the typical American. He can't pronounce anything right. He's so culturally insensitive. Another 8-inch shell hit on the Kashima. I would say at this point, New Orleans has her bracketed. Okay. Man, I think we may have gotten Kashima, guys. I guess I wish my shells were being spread around to more ships, but now 6-inch shells from the Perth are coming in, slamming into her. I'm going to fast forward through this combat, but I think we got the Kashima. I'm pretty confident that she will go down, if not on screen, then probably some point afterwards. The other thing is, remember, with as far south as XTRG is, he's really not going to be able to get away. Like, not get away is not what I mean. He's not going to be able to easily repair his ships. They've got a long way to go to any serious repair yards. Even Truk is only sort of a stopgap. He doesn't have shipyards there. So let's fast forward a bit and let's see what happens here. You can see Kashima is continuing to take a pounding. I'm glad to see we're getting some shell hits on some of the cargo ships there. The Kashima is sunk, so we sank another Japanese light cruiser. That should bring our tally of Japanese light cruisers to 3 sunk already, and we're only in January of 42. So his light cruiser force is suffering a bit. Now, we got a few shell hits on some other ships, but it doesn't look like anything else is sunk. The Kratori is probably in not a good way. She's at least going to be out of action for quite a while repairing. Meanwhile, they only got 2 shell hits back, no torpedoes, 1 shell hit on a destroyer, 1 on the Canberra. And it looks like these guys were carrying some troops. So they lost 122 casualties, 1 squad destroyed, 6 disabled here. Unfortunately, we didn't slaughter the invasion convoy, but we did at least severely maul them, and maybe at least, I don't know, I guess it'll be interesting to see. Meanwhile, Japanese submarines continue to play havoc with us. We're trying to unload cargo at Johnston Island. Another Japanese submarine is hitting another cargo ship there, Johnston Island. And then a cargo ship here off the coast of the U.S. Apparently escapes damage. Okay, so is that it for the nighttime phase? The cargo ship there at Johnston Island is sunk. Japan is launching fast transport troops at Kuatan, which is a good airbase. It's got a level 4 airfield. I have no troops there anymore. He's also fast. Ooh, this seems like a risky deal, to say the least. He's got a heavy cruiser bombarding the short Kaigun, but he'll get troops ashore. But with a fast transport, we have like 400 assault value here. This is all of our strength on Mindanao is right down in this area. So they're firing to suppress defensive guns. I don't think I've really got much in the way of coastal guns. We actually lost more casualties than they did. They lost 76 landing. We lost 104. But I don't think he's going to be able to dislodge our forces there. We've got reasonable fortifications. I think we have level 2 or level 3 forts. And he has no big guns there. No aircraft have bombed down there yet. So I'm pretty confident in our ability to hang on. So some troops are withdrawing without unloading, according to that little write-up. 39 coastal guns are firing in defense, or shots, I guess, firing defense against this APD and heavy cruiser here. Does look like some troops got ashore there. Something said something about a task force moving closer. Japanese destroyers are going after the USS Seawolf, but they're not able to pin her down, so that's good. Japanese submarines off the coast of Balikpapan are being targeted by our destroyers, but we're not able to do anything against them. Apparently we had a Type 88... Oh, boy. Uh-oh. This is problem. This is a problem. So we've got 3 heavy cruisers, 2 light cruisers, 3 destroyers, and the Japanese have engaged us with the battleship Mutsu. Another battleship down here, which I'm not sure what it is. So 2 battleships, the Nagato. Do these have 16-inch guns? Oh, boy. Heavy cruiser Kako. Wow, we got a nice little hit there early on from the New Orleans. Her gunners are scoring some good work there. The Furutaka? Wow, good shooting there by the Australia there against the Japanese heavy cruiser. Some Allied torpedoes in the water. They don't do anything. But you can see the Japanese have 2 battleships here. They have 3 heavy cruisers, maybe 4. 1 to 2 light cruisers, and then 5 destroyers against 3 heavy cruisers, 2 light cruisers, and 3 destroyers. A 4-inch shell hit against the Mutsu is not going to do anything. Nagato has 16-inch guns. Okay. Yeah, I think, aren't the Mutsu and the Nagato of the same class? The interesting thing is that he moved his battleships this far south. I feel like that's going to be hard for him to keep those ships fueled. Those are going to be guzzling gas, aren't they? Moonlight's 42%. I don't think it means it's still in the night phase. It's not dark anymore. It's at least in the morning phase. We're actually getting some decent hits in here. You can see the Nagato, the Furutaka, the Mutsu, the Kako. They're all at least somewhat smoking and on fire. They have not yet found the range against us, despite closing to 12,000 yards. I guess it'd be nice if we could score some torpedo hits. That could be a game changer here. But so far, we're another 8-inch shell hit against this Japanese heavy cruiser. Fire in the fire control area. They have not landed a main battery round against us. Technically, yeah, but they still are gas guzzlers, Jack, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, only hope is to mission kill the battleships in the day phase. Yeah, oh, the series has taken some hits there. So that's a light cruiser. This looks like this must be a more modern light cruiser by the silhouette. The Yabari. The Tatua looks like kind of the old 3 stacks that are more of like torpedo division leaders. But I'm very intrigued because we know he has had the KB this far south. He's also got a very strong battleship force this far south. He's going to be guzzling fuel like none other. Another 8-inch shell hit against a Japanese heavy cruiser. That's a 4-inch shell, so that just goes into the belt. New Orleans firing in Yabari. I wish I could give like orders to say like concentrate your fire on this target or something like that, but that would be kind of out of keeping with being Admiral Nimitz, eh? Can you imagine Nimitz getting on the wireless being like, shoot at this ship, guys! Aim at this ship! Okay, thank you, Jack. They are 16-inch shells. Yeah, these were the newest Japanese capital ships that were completed before the Washington Naval Treaty basically prohibited capital ship construction. I believe these were the newest Japanese battleships to be completed until the Yamato class, right? So like these are his third and fourth best battleships in this entire navy. Hi, North. I am fighting against overwhelming Japanese numbers, and so far, at least my heavy cruisers seem to be escaping much in the way of damage. These Japanese... Oh, was that a... Did I see that say that was a heavy shell, or was it not? Oh, no, that's a 12... That was not a heavy shell. We're out to 13,000 yards, by the way. Torpedoes in the water. It would be real great if one of our torpedoes could hit. The Ceres has taken a bit of a beating. This light cruiser here. I'm assuming this is an Anzac light cruiser. Probably pretty good. Charcoal, thanks for the gifted sub. Another gifted sub? Wow, dude. That's your 4th gifted sub to this channel. I do appreciate it, man. Just flinging the money at people, right? Oh, God. Well, the Australia's taken... As soon as I say we seem to be escaping a lot of damage, the Australia starts to take some hits, and she is smoking as well. Hey, 4 gifted subs is $20. That's not 10, it's 20. Torpedoes are in the water. These torpedoes on both sides, and I'm not complaining because the Japanese torpedoes are way better than ours. These torpedoes have been wholly ineffective against anybody. Now, I think the American destroyers had basically torpedoes that were almost as bad as the Mark 14. Yeah, if these guys survive, when these guys get back to Australia, they are getting a month off and lots of booze. This is one of the few large surface naval engagements that'll happen in this game. I don't know if that's true, Commissar. Yeah, where's my buy one war bonds? I mean, we've already had a major surface engagement with the battleship Prince of Wales and Repulse against 2 Japanese battleships. Granted, our battleships were mission killed before they reached the Japanese battleships, but we did get a couple of heavy cruisers came in and finished off the Japanese battleships that had been damaged by biplanes. So I wouldn't, you know, we have had other surface engagements. Yeah, if they get back north. I mean, this is dragging out. It looks like the engagement range is increasing here. So it looks like we're trying to disengage, as far as I can tell. But the other thing to keep in mind is as that range increases... Ooh, Canberra just took a hit from the Mutsu. As the range increases, the advantage of the battleships increases, because we're not going to be penetrating battleship armor at 20,000 yards. You already saw we got an 8-inch shell hit against one of the Japanese battleships there, and it did not do any damage. I don't think either the Australia or the Canberra are terribly hit. The Ceres looks badly damaged, and the Edsel, she's a destroyer and she's smoking, and destroyers are pretty fragile. So we'll have to see. Oh, God. That was a big hit against the Barker, the destroyer up there on the northern end. Maybe, you know, the one other positive thing is, okay, range is increasing. This has been a really long engagement. I don't know how many shells that they have left in their magazines, but I imagine our ships are basically empty. And presumably theirs are pretty low, too. So, at the very least, he may have to pull these heavy vessels back to truck to rearm. Because I doubt he'll have the support in place at Luganville. There's like a level 1 port there. And the way the game works is I'm pretty sure there's no way that he can pull his battleships to truck and rearm their main guns. I don't even think he can rearm heavy cruiser guns at Luganville. Alright, range is increasing further. Ceres and Barker look in a bad way based on the smoke silhouettes. Not that that's super accurate. Also, who knows? Maybe he'll have to pull these battleships out and repair them somewhere. I mean, maybe. I mean, larger in the sense that we're not going to have 100 of these? Probably. That's probably accurate. But at least early in the war, there's still a chance for surface engagements. I mean, there aren't aircraft everywhere. As much as I wish I had a lot more aircraft. Send in the planes. I don't have any planes to send. If only I had the dive bombers based off of New Caledonia. Well, that was a heavy cruiser hit against that Australian heavy cruiser. An 8-inch shell hit. 8-inch shell hit against New Orleans. They're starting to find the range as we've kind of increased the range. I think the main hope is that our ships aren't too badly damaged to sprint, because that's going to be the key, is we need to make sure that we have the ability to run away fast, because we are going to be, basically no matter what, we're going to have to move at flank speed to get out of there. Because if he saw these ships over here, we know the Kiributai was moving north, but there's a very good chance he may sprint them south. And if he does that, I mean, part of me would be okay, because he's going to have to burn a lot of fuel. And again, I really don't know how much fuel he has sitting around just to, you know, throw at us. Looks like Connolly is trying to disengage. The range has increased again to 26,000 yards, but has not succeeded in withdrawing yet. Yeah. Where's Gandalf right now? Run, you fools! Okay. Come on, guys, get out of there. I want to fast forward, but I don't want to miss anything. Again, this is one of the more, I guess, interesting surface-to-surface engagements that you see. Ideally, you see several surface-to-surface engagements as the Allies, but typically you'd rather them be against Japanese convoys like earlier. I mean, he definitely can't make ships as fast as me, Jack, but I don't think XTRG is playing the long game. He's not trying to win in 1945. He's trying to win an auto victory in 42 or 43. So he's probably eventually trying to use New Caledonia as a base against Australia to land troops in Australia and invade Australia, because he kind of has to win. So, you know. It stays interesting for a bit. Wait, there's more to come? Jesus. I thought this thing was over. How much ammo do these guys have left? They've been firing for freaking all day. Okay. No one's really hitting anything now. The range is closing again. Just great. I thought we were trying to retreat. Why are we closing the range? Are the Japanese closing on us? I want this battle to end. 6-inch shell hit against the Kako. Okay. Belt armor hit, though. Didn't look like it penetrated. Perth has done pretty well for itself. Light cruiser with escaping pretty much all damage. You can see the Ceres has severe fires below deck. She just took another hit. No knife fighting range. We already launched our torpedoes. North is continuing the gift sub they got from Charcoal. Does that mean, like, you switched it over to a paid sub? If so, thank you very much, North. There's a lot of smoke on our side, guys. The only ship that's really heavily smoking on his is the Kako. We've got at least 2 very badly damaged ships and 2 more moderately damaged ships. 21,000 yards. God damn it, guys, run away. Another hit on the Ceres. Fire in the superstructure. I'm going to put money that the Ceres is a gone. No! New Orleans, come on, man. New Orleans just took a hit. Perth is living a charmed life down there. She's just like, what's up, guys? We having a good day? Perth and Alden, the destroyer down here, the 4-stacker. This reminds me a little bit of, closing to 18,000 yards? Are you kidding? Guys, I thought we might survive this, but I don't know. I think our best hope is that they run out of ammo. This reminds me a little bit of, and I don't usually play out entire battles like this on a video, but This is a little bit of a different one, I think. It's a little bit unusual. But I don't know if you guys have you guys seen the old John Wayne movie called In Harm's Way? As their closing range even further. Because that was one of the few movies, like there's Hunt for Bismarck or whatever, but In Harm... Oh, tower armor hit. Okay, that was a small caliber shell on New Orleans. Or was it not? It was 20 centimeters. That's probably a big I didn't even see... Perth just got hit. She's flaming now. Great. In Harm's Way is a really interesting movie because it is a movie that is sort of fictional in the sense that it's basically trying to be like this is like the Solomon Islands campaign, but with John Wayne and sort of like in a fictional area, I think. And it has this force which is led by a heavy cruiser that ends up engaging Yamato and just getting absolutely demolished. But kind of like a Taffy 8 or Taffy 3. It was a Taffy 8 scenario where they did enough damage and they sort of fought fiercely enough that it caused the Japanese to pull out. So you can see there's a lot of like actual World War II sort of history and influence woven into the story. And to me, it's one of the better portrayals of surface naval combat in World War II that you see in any movie. And for that reason, I really do enjoy it quite a bit. You don't really have many World War II movies or movies in general about surface naval combat. Wow, they're getting a couple of 6-inch shells there against the Furutaka. Ceres is taking a beating, though. She continues to absorb shells. 12,000 yards. God, you guys, get away. Try and ram the Nagato. I would be totally okay if we could for sure ram the Nagato. So, are we betting? I guess some of you guys already know the results, so maybe we can't really bet. But are we betting on what the results are here? I'm pretty... 8,000 yards? 8,000 yards. 6-inch shell hit on the Kako. More 6-inch shell hits on the Kako. That's a good salvo from the Perth. A 4-inch shell hit on the Kako. Good lord, someone buy the guys on the Perth a beer. The Ceres takes another hit. Torpedoes in the water. Ceres is hit by shells. Still haven't seen a torpedo hit on anything. Ceres took another shell. Perth just taken shells. Ugh. The belt armor on the New Orleans took a hit. Doesn't look like it actually penetrated, though, so that's good. The DD on the bottom looks okay. It's not smoking very bad, the Etzel. Alright, range increasing again. I need, like, a zigzag map to show these, like... That would be kind of cool if you had, like, a top-down look at these battles as sort of the formations moved around. Oh, no! Explosion in the superstructure. That's not what we want to see. Man. Whoever designed torpedoes on both sides, not having a good day. Lots of torpedoes spent, not much in the way of hits. Alright, so the Barker took another hit. You wore a shirt with USS Etzel crew list today? What? So I'm assuming the Etzel sinks, or are you just kidding, Charcoal? Smoke screens, they can't hit anything. Yeah, whatever. I'm fine if they can't hit anything. 4-inch shell hit against the Tatsura. Man, this battle just keeps going. We're 40 minutes into the stream already. It just... I wish that the game was a little bit more interesting to watch. Like, all you guys get to see is, like, shell hits, you know, explosion or whatever. At some point, you have to... Wait, what just happened? Was that a torpedo that hit, or was it a shell hit? I didn't quite see. Rip for the Barker. She's getting pounded over there. Deck pen, shell hit. Alright. Well, Belugan, you would think it's interesting, because this, you know, you're a fan of the game, I guess. Not everybody who watches this necessarily is. It's a very different kind of a game. Oh, no! I was taking a sip of my beer. The Barker is sinking! We lost our first ship. She probably won't be the last. Barker goes down. Rip Bob Barker. Oh, God. I'm guessing our ships are basically like, shit, guys, what do we got left at? We gotta throw rocks at them. Like, get some lobsters. Chuck some lobsters at them. Well, it's official. This battle has gone on long enough for me to finish my first beer. Nagato is smoking pretty heavily. I gotta say, I think the Nagato is probably mission killed. I think she's gonna have to pull back to a serious port to repair her, and I think the Furutaka and the Kako as well. Both of those will probably have to withdraw. If we can get the ships we have now out and see if we can scatter them and maybe get a couple out of there, this might be a pretty successful battle. I mean, none of his ship... There's no way any of these guys... None of ours, for that matter, either. It's not like we're going to do anything. But I can't imagine any of them have anything left to shoot. That's the long... I think that might be the longest surface engagement I've ever seen in this game. Let's take a look at our ships first. So the battle is over. We lost the Barker. 11 shell hits for that DD, and she's sunk. The series is probably a gun or two. 14 shell hits, heavy fires, heavy damage. Now, at least she's not sunk yet. The good news is here that the New Orleans took 10 hits as an on fire, but there's no heavy damage moniker. The Australia took 7 hits and no fire, no heavy damage, so she's in pretty good shape. The Canberra took 5 shell hits as an on fire, but no heavy damage at least. The Perth, 2 hits on fire, she should be okay. The Aladdin is the charmed ship in this force, not a single shell hit. The Edsel, 1 shell hit, and she's not on fire or heavily damaged either. So I think... I mean, who knows? He may, if we get stuck in another battle next turn, that may change. But at least for this turn, unless we have another battle, which I can't imagine that they've got much left to shoot at us, that the 2 destroyers, the Aladdin and the Edsel, are both going to escape. The Perth should escape. The Australia should escape. And the New Orleans and the Canberra, who knows? Pormer, thank you very much for the subscription, and looks like you've been subscribed for 2 months, so I definitely appreciate the continued support. Let's see here. So, long story short, we lost 1 destroyer, and we have a light cruiser heavy damaged, and that's it at the moment. Now, on his end, we see heavy fires on the Kako, heavy fires on the Furutaka, and then actually the Nagato is on fire as well. So, I gotta say, that's a pretty... Given the disparity in forces there, and the fact that this is early war and none of ours have anti-ship radars on our ships, that is a pretty damn positive result. You can see here the history of the battle. Contact at 7,000 yards, closing down to 12,000, all the way down to 9,000 yards. At 9,000 yards, you can see here all of these different ships that engaged against other ships. Then the range begins increasing. Oh my god, this is a long-ass combat report. Increases all the way out to... I mean... Come on, guys. All the way out to 24,000 yards? Does it go further? 25,000 yards? Oh my god. I've never seen a combat result this long. 26,000 yards. And then at 26,000 yards, they're like, well, we're not done. We're going to close back in. And we come all the way back in to 10,000, or no, 16,000, 15,000, 12,000. We get it all the way down to 8,000 yards in the second pass. And then at that point, then it spreads back out, and you go all the way back out to 26,000 yards before breaking off. Yeah, this would be a named battle in history. This would be one of those battles that you would find in your World War II atlases. The Battle of the Blood Court. I don't know if it's that. I mean, it's... I don't even know where this is. It's near Belop Islands. Could be the Battle of Belop Islands. I don't know. The you could call it the Battle of Iron Bottom Sound, but not because of the ships, because of all the shells that got fired. How many shells? I mean, good God. There's going to be an ammunition shortage. All right, let's continue. So it looks like our task force is withdrawing to Sydney after combat. Meanwhile, here there's some anti-submarine activities occurring on the north coast of Borneo. We got to remember that's not the whole turn. The Seal is leaking oil badly and is being pounded by Japanese destroyers here. New Caledonia coasts. I don't know, guys, but it might. You know, I want to make a documentary of the Battle of Mersing. We might have to make a documentary of that as well. That was very much like a Guadalcanal type battle. Battle of the... Oh, shit. There's Battleships Islands. Oh, shit. Seal just took a direct depth charge hit. Submarine skipper evades patterns. Near miss damage a sub. Rattles sub. Man, she's really getting hit hard. I think she's in shallow water, which is a bit of a problem. We've been trying to make sure that we have got a screen of subs in front of Brunei and Miri for when he eventually sends his tankers. We have not seen a single sign of Japanese tankers anywhere. He's taken these oil resources, but he hasn't done anything to bring any resources home yet. 7 hits, not heavy damage, so that's good. Hit but no explosion. Wow, he can have a Mark 14 hit but no explosion as well against the... by the way, this ship is unarmed or unoccupied. I think she's on her way to San Francisco to pick up some troops to move north to reinforce our positions in the Aleutians. But that's interesting. A hit but no explosion. We never see that for the Japanese, do we? Yeah, let's hope the curse of the Mark 14 shall spread to the Japanese Navy. We can only pray that the Long Lance decides to start running low, go under ships, or explode prematurely. That would be great. I can't believe... I mean, we've been going for 45 minutes, and we're just getting into the air phase. That was a long-ass battle. All right. The French minesweeper battle. That was pretty awesome to have that French minesweeper badly damage Japanese transports and inflict heavy casualties on them. Alright, so they're starting to bomb Clark Field. Well, they've been bombing Clark Field, I guess. We've got a couple of P-35s that are left that are still based out of Bataan, but really our Air Force is kind of gone. You can see there we lost 1 aircraft. He lost 1 damaged, at least according to the recon. Heavy bombing to the northeast of Wu Chao. Some 30 bombers there. Actually, some of them are dive bombers against our troops there. So you can see 20 casualties against our troops there. 1 Lily damaged. 21 Idas are also coming in, so I think those are more like dive bombers. No damage from that. More Lilies coming in. So this is not a well-coordinated strike to the north of Wu Chao. This is a poorly coordinated strike that came in kind of piecemeal. Meanwhile, he's got some bombers going after Meeden, which we have some Dutch bombers based there on the ground. That airfield's largely shut down, so he can... Actually, I think we pulled most of our aircraft out of there now that I think about it. But he continues to pound it anyway. Which is fine. He's not bombing Singapore, so feel free to go bomb that. Yeah, the first raid on Tarawa was pretty... I mean, that was pretty in keeping with the Marshall Islands raids in real life. We had some success. I think, we don't have the recon intelligence to confirm it, but based on the combat results, we're pretty certain we sank a Japanese light cruiser there, as well as a... Oh, the Leadender sank. Alright, so we lost... Wait, the Leadender? Wouldn't that be the Ceres? I'm confused. The Leadender isn't even there, is it? We'll have to take a look at that. Maybe it was just misreported. Or maybe it was the Leadender and not the Ceres that was engaged. I don't even know. Fog of War! But it's our fog, Belugan. It's our ship. Why do we get Fog of War on our own ship? Anyway, so I'm pretty sure we're up to 3 Japanese light cruisers sunk, which I think he only gets 29 in the entire war, so that's, you know, 10% of his light cruiser force already on the bottom of the oceans. Would be a pretty nice thing to, you know, have a nice little feather in our cap in January. I don't know how important the Japanese light cruisers are. Their heavy cruisers are obviously much more valuable. And our carrier raid against Midway got a little bit ahead of me. This is poor coordination on my part. The battleships aren't quite there yet for the bombardment, but the Dauntlesses are already hitting. Not really doing much damage, but hopefully they're getting some experience. We didn't lose any crews. Looks like a Dutch bombing force moved in on Mersing against the Japanese troops there. Didn't do any damage. Leander. Yeah, Leander makes a lot more sense, pronunciation-wise. Tortuga, have I seen the event? The event being the battle? Yes, we just witnessed a like 40-minute, literally a 40-minute long battle between 3 Allied heavy cruisers, 2 light cruisers, 3 destroyers, and 2 Japanese battleships, 4 Japanese heavy cruisers, 2 light cruisers, and 5 destroyers or something. We just lost a troop transport off the U.S. coast. No one was on it, but we don't have enough of those things to begin with. I really need to figure out a way to get the Japanese submarines off our coast under control. But our ASW is so goddamn shitty in the first place. Meanwhile, SS Thresher did fire on a Japanese ship. I think it was shooting at another... My guys really love to shoot at escorts. Let me just say, they love to waste their torpedoes on tiny-ass ships. Ugh. All right, I think that's the end of... Yeah, okay, that's the end of naval and air combat. Japanese are launching a deliberate attack on Clark Field. As you remember, we pulled out all of our troops. We have a couple of units that were left behind, mostly engineers or headquarter units that couldn't keep up. We're going to lose Clark Field, so we're going to be penned in at Bataan. But we do have over 50,000 supplies. We were able to run 20,000 supplies into Bataan via convoys, actual AKL convoys through the Sulu Sea that he took a long time to shut down before he moved a light carrier task force into there to shut that down. So hopefully that helps us keep Bataan a little bit longer than what we would otherwise do. You can see here the Japanese do take Clark Field. The fixed unit there, the fortification unit, surrenders. Actually, all the units surrendered. All of them were destroyed? Damn. I don't think that's true. That's got to be fog of war. 29 guns destroyed, 134 non-combatant squads, 14 squads, 741 men. He lost nothing. Meanwhile, Kaigun, you can see we're bombarding. He landed an infantry regiment, or fragment of an infantry regiment here. He's got about 70 assault value here. Meanwhile, you can see we have much stronger forces there, and our bombardment attack inflicted 151 casualties against him. 453 assault value versus 74. Even though, like, our strength is much weaker than that, if you consider the fact that the Japanese are more efficient at this stage in the war, that's still a pretty hefty advantage for us. Charcoal, another gifted sub, man. Thank you very much. That's the 5th one that you've given to the channel, and Tortuga is now a subscriber. It's about time, Tortuga, that you jump in on the bandwagon here. Thank you very much, guys. That's like 5 subscriptions tonight. We're on a bit of a little sub spree. Remember, if you have Amazon Prime, you can sub for free and support me. So I definitely don't discourage that. Take it back. Commissar Roach with the subscription there. I think I have my alerts turned off, guys. I'm sorry. I have an alert that has like a little rebel yell with like a drop down, but I, for whatever reason, forgot to click that. And if I alt-tab out of this game, it does bad things to the UI. So I apologize. You guys should be getting your call-outs. You haven't been. I apologize for that. Fuck it, take it. Well, thank you very much for the begrudged subscription there, Commissar. All right, guys, I'm going to have to jump in here and cut this one off. All you got here was the combat result. So I took this from a live stream from just last night, which was about 2 hours long. And I didn't want to post the whole thing in one 2-hour segment. So what I actually am doing here is I'm going to show the turn in the next episode. In that episode, we really focus heavily on looking at the cruisers and how they are doing and what shape they're in. And then we also kind of start working through some of our orders. So the plan is going to be to post this obviously here on Sunday, which you're looking at now, and then we'll probably post the turn results either on Monday or on Tuesday, depending on what XTRG's timing is to turn things around for us. We have a couple of days most likely before he's going to be able to send anything our way. So it just kind of depends on scheduling, either Monday or Tuesday, with Strategic Command being the alternative option for Monday and Tuesday. With that being said, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'm not planning on breaking turns up into multiple sub-episodes going forward, but this was a pretty big one with a really big surface battle. You don't get those very often, so I did want to give it its due diligence and make sure that we kind of highlighted that battle. Not a ton for you to actually watch and see, but hopefully a fair amount of suspense and kind of sitting on the edge of your seat. I know I certainly was watching those results. With that being said, until next time, guys, we'll have to wonder what the fate of our cruisers were and how good a shape they are. But this is the Historical Gamer saying, as always, thanks again for tuning in. Thank you for all the support. And until next time, guys, thank you for watching, and I'm out.